gaming tonight. And we're going to give you some visual compendiums to go along with it. How about that? Let's get started.
According to Wikipedia, a nerd is a person seen as overly intellectual, obsessive, introverted, or lacking social skills. Many so-called nerds are described as being shy, quirky, pedantic, and unattractive. We're here to prove Wikipedia right.
Oh, look who they let in.
This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. If it's fantasy, sci-fi, gaming, movies, interviews, we're talking about it. We're talking about it. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, and here's your host, Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike.
Welcome to Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Episode number 483. We got Magic Mike, Game God, Moose in the building talking about retro gaming. That's what tonight's about. A little bit of movie, maybe just a little bit of other stuff layered on somehow, but we're gonna dig into some fun stuff. Some stuff that we think you're gonna love. That's the bigger piece.
Okay.
Because, well, we loved it, so why not? Superman. We talked about Superman last week. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I've been asked on the street a couple of times. Moose, what'd you think about? What'd you think about? I didn't hear I'm like, okay, well, let me just tell you. And I spoiled the fun for them, and I still stand by what I believe on Superman. Just for the record.
I got to tell you, same thing, Moose. Game guy. What do you think? What's going on? What's your take on it? And so when I feel like I'm hurting feelings though when I tell you what I really think of. Like when I start to talk to them, it's like, oh, okay, all right, well, thanks. And then they don't tell me what they feel like. It's like, well, what did you think? I guess I didn't see the same thing.
Why is it that people have and I say people, maybe it's the generation, they have no issue with the Superman story being changed. Like that doesn't even enter into their thoughts of his history being changed. And that's a big part of it. This is how Superman gets to be who he is based on his story. That's how all superheroes become who they are based on their story, their backstory. Yeah. So I'm getting the same thing. It's crazy. Maybe it's just us because I feel like that it's the same conversations. They're excited to ask, and then when the comment comes, they're like, oh yeah, I thought it was good. And that's all they say. It's like, well, what did you like about it? I liked the Superman. I liked it, all the hero stuff. I liked so-and-so. I like this, I like that. But nothing about the actual story of the movie.
Yeah, what I get is, the dog was cute. I like the dog.
Yeah,
like all the time. So, but I will tell you that we do have some numbers that from the second weekend.
Okay, so let's hear it.
We talked about how much decline it would be from weekend to weekend.
We usually see a huge drop off, right? Yeah,
we do.
I don't know what the total take was. I don't remember, but we know there's usually a huge drop off when the movie isn't so great.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this ultimately, Game God, before you give me what you're saying. Mm-hmm. As a movie itself, I think it was, as a superhero movie, I think it was fine. But as a Superman movie, it wasn't. And that's what I stick to my guns on.
Yeah. So I wanted to say in the chat there, Rob says he enjoyed Jurassic World better than Superman. So listen, there's some stuff there. So just to remind you, opening weekend domestically, Superman opened at 122 million domestically.
Okay.
And another 95 international. So it gave it at 217 worldwide opening weekend. Right.
Okay.
Keep it. We're not doing apples to apples. I think Jurassic World had a 5-day weekend or something like that with 4th of July or something like that. All right. So here's the story of two stories. 54% decline, right? Which it isn't too bad from a percentage.
That's normal.
That's good.
Yeah, that isn't too bad.
That's no Star Wars,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it did another 57 million in this weekend. Right? Domestic.
Right.
and then another 45 international, right? So it brings his total international take at 406 million for 2 weekends.
Okay. I mean, that's respectable.
It's okay.
That's respectable. Yeah, that's respectable. But this coming weekend, how much now is the drop off? Because
Oh man,
Fantastic Four coming out this weekend, and that's going to be this will be the telltale sign of whether Superman could still hang in there. Look, I think I gave it a 4. I think one of you guys gave it a 4.5. So I just don't think it's going to hold up, and I'm disappointed. It's a good superhero movie, but if it was anybody other than Superman, I would be, I'd be like, oh yeah, it was good. It was a 7, but it's Superman.
Well,
So my expectations are great.
Let me throw a wrench in the works here for you, Moose. Talking about Fantastic Four coming, I read something somewhere, and this is not a spoiler, but it does go to the movie, and hopefully it doesn't discourage you from wanting to see it. But somebody had posted and said, they finally show that all the Fantastic Four are just as intelligent as Reed Richards.
oh, that's not good.
That's not good. That's not good.
How
good
is
at
that? That's one of his. That's his thing from the beginning. Is his intelligence?
That is his thing.
Yeah.
He's part of the Illuminati.
Yep.
Yes.
There's
So
no
if
one who
you're
can.
gonna-
Yeah.
If everybody's going to be just as smart as Reed Richards, you've lost me because
Yeah. That's the
it
fantastic
doesn't
one.
make sense. The fantastic one.
The
fantastic
fantastic
one.
one. You're right.
The Unifantastic. The Unifor.
The uniform.
It just doesn't make sense if
Rebranding.
that's the direction they go. I don't like that at all.
Just to close out the number piece for Superman, if you guys don't mind, you saw that on the social media. We did put up Superman by the numbers, and talked about like what salaries were and everything like that.
Right.
So, production value 225 million. I have a question for you guys though. Should the director be making more than your lead actor in the movie?
I saw that, and if that's true, right? If those numbers are accurate, what's his name? Corn Sweat, Sweet.
Yeah,
Corn Sweat. Yeah, Corn Sweat.
He's man, that stinks. 750,000, I think it was.
Yeah, 750,000.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
that almost feels like, hey, you should feel grateful to be Superman.
yeah.
And Lex Luthor at 2 million. But what really knocked me down was 15 million for 15 million for James Gunn.
Yeah, that was huge. 15 million.
Wow.
Like, how does director make more than the lead actor,
Is he
the
worth-
face of the movie?
How much did the dog make?
Hey, I think that's undisclosed at the moment. Just want you to know. I just had a problem with that piece, and then just from comparative piece, Jurassic World Rebirth, 600 million globally. Same time, 1 weekend more, I guess. So 647 million is made worldwide. So that's crazy.
Speaking
crazy.
to go back to that real quick, if as the director, if you're more interested in what you are bringing in versus what the movie's bringing in and what the actors are bringing in, that's not a good sign for a direction, because then you're not going to get what you want out of it, and neither will the fans.
Well, he just wants to make sure that we keep directors around and no AI. He said, "Hey, I'm worth it.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm worth it." Superman beating Thunderbolts in 2 weeks, as they did all worldwide. That's crazy.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's the power of a Superman brand, though. Honestly, that's exactly.
You're right. You're absolutely correct, Moose. That is that power, and we'll see from here not only Superman going forward, if we do get another one, but other DC Universe movies coming out. So through James Gunn.
Yeah.
We are. We're
Yeah.
getting Supergirl. That's the
scared.
next super movie.
No,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
scared.
I'm just saying all the rest of them coming forward from James Gunn. That's going to really tell us how people enjoyed this or not.
Have you guys done any? I don't know if do you ever play? I got some gaming questions here for everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Magic Mike, take a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Uh,
Oh well. Hey, but what's going to be funny about this is when we mention Game God's name, we have to take away part of that
yeah.
name.
The God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just game guy.
Game guy.
The game guy. Let me ask you: are you doing any retro gaming at all? I mean, other than us talking about it. I mean, do you ever, put it in and live on the nostalgia piece, or do you ever use a Raspberry Pi piece, or what do you use? Do you do any of that? I occasionally do. I didn't do it any like this past week, but I've done some.
I'll go first because it'll be quick. No. So Moose, you do it occasionally. I do it probably half of it occasionally. So I will do it all, whatever that term would be. Half of occasionally is about how often I do it.
We'll make we'll call that something else. That's we call that.
So I can't.
Occasionally.
There you go.
So I don't, Moose. I don't know if I do it as often as you do, but I do. When I do it, it's in long spurts, right? Like I'll get all in, and it'll be hours on end, and I go down a rabbit hole. Most recently, I've played Super Punch Out, and I just forgot how fun that game was with the Bruiser Brothers and Gabby J, yay! It's like it's just. It's so much fun, and the other pieces when I played, when I jumped into Super Punch Out, just how bright, vibrant the colors were in playing it. In comparison to a game that I'm playing currently, which is Expedition 33, very dark, shadowy, realistic. That's what people look for in graphics these days. But I was really into the fun factor of how fun games used to be. And Super Punch Out brought me there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's got some memorable, setups really, for memories to go back to Super Punch Out. And I asked that because two things. One, current gaming systems are really I'm worried. Microsoft Xbox laid off 9,000 people most recently.
Wow.
From Xbox.
Close some studios. Yep.
So I'm not quite sure if we're gonna see another Xbox.
I've read that headline, Moose. Obviously we have our sources out in the field, and I feel like the console piece, right, is dying for it's changing into handhelds, right? So I think they're playing with that world. Everything is gone digital streaming, cloud, right?
That's where they're going.
I can't tell you the last time I actually seen an actual physical disc for an Xbox.
I know. I get it. But I'm worried that we won't see an Xbox console, a next gen Xbox console. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to stream all of the platforms because it's already cross-platform for every game that you play.
Yep.
Okay. So you're playing it on, PlayStation. You can get it on the PC. You can do it on Xbox, and I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it.
So you think gaming consoles in general are going to be going?
No, but I'm a little worried. And if this one goes down, Nintendo has held they hold the capital for handheld. So the Switch, they just released the Switch 2. That's doing very well. I think they're solid. They're solid players, and they're not going to do that cross-platform. They're going to keep it in-house. You need to buy, a Nintendo system in order to play their games. Period. PlayStation will have some of the rights to some of these other things that we haven't seen in a while. And so when I started thinking about where PlayStation goes, will we see a next gen console with PlayStation? And the answer is yeah, I think so. But the bigger issue is, will we see a follow-up? But PlayStation did make money on their console, so the PS5, and they released the PS5 Pro just recently. So when I think of the PS5 Pro being released, I'm like, okay, well, they wouldn't have done that if they weren't all in on their console.
They postponed the next release for the PlayStation 6. They keep postponing it.
Well, I get it, but I'm just saying they did make money, and Xbox didn't. I don't think on the Xbox Series X. I don't believe they did make money.
So I don't think on the Series X, but on the Series S they did, which is interesting, right? But what's a real travesty is how you fighting with that microphone. I just want to make sure you know that. Right? Listen, you look like you're wrestling over there.
I guess my shock in my microphone is so good it gets like. No, I'm good. I'm fine. Let me.
I promise. I thought you put it in a headlock for a second. There, I was like, stop moving.
Yeah, I did. I had to. I had to teach the lesson.
That was the piece there. But no, getting back to the Xbox. Yeah, I think the Xbox Series. Now, I will tell you, a fan of the Series X. I love my Xbox Series X. Right?
Yeah. Me too.
Great piece of hardware. Am I saying it's the best bang for? Like, I don't know if they put too much money. They're not making money on it. Like, I get that piece.
That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, but the Series S, the white one, right, without the drive, that's all.
Right.
You know, it's little underneath. It isn't the same level as the X. I think they're making a killing on it because it's
Why'd
not. It
they lay
doesn't
off
cost that
9,000
much.
people?
It's the cheaper chicken.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, you know, going the route of the, like you talked about the PS5 Pro. I
but what-
also heard from a source, by the way, that GTA 6 will be the only system that will be played at full specs.
And that's the reason why the PlayStation will hang around. But why did Microsoft lay off 9,000 people from Xbox then? That can't be good
Great
news.
question.
No,
Great
I'm
question.
not asking you to answer. I'm just saying, really, it's that can't be good news. And there's no way that this is going to be, good times for Xbox folks. And I'm an Xbox fan.
Yeah, I'm not. I will tell you, I'm not concerned per se on Microsoft as a whole, right? I think the layoffs were the people who are like making like physical games and studios. Like, I'm telling you, they're streamlining all that stuff.
I
Like,
know.
AI can make video games.
Listen to me. Not as good. But here's the thing, and it's a matter of time. They might be able to tweak that. But as we've seen already, when you try to tweak something in AI, it tweaks everything. It doesn't just tweak one
You can
thing.
only have a certain amount of
Whole
facial
thing.
hair.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. One too many. It's
But
out.
but here's the thing. PlayStation 5 is still out there. PlayStation 5 Pro, I'd love to get. I'd love to pick one up. But the PlayStation Portal, have you messed with this at all, game guy?
I have not, and I seen it, and I'm curious. Like I want to put my hands on it.
Because it's not that much money, really. I don't think it's a lot of money at all.
No, it isn't. But I can't figure out is that do you need a PlayStation in order to play it?
Okay, well that might be the case. I don't know.
Yeah, might be the
So,
case. Well,
so I'm a
Moose,
little concerned. But and this leads me into the path. By the way, I do have some show and tell, and I'm going to go off camera just to grab it. Just 2 seconds. Won't take me but a
love
second.
this.
okay.
Yeah,
We're live and prepared. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I just love this.
Hold on. This is this is what I do. This is how I do
So
it.
while you go off, I'm going to ask Game God a question.
Yeah, that's just.
Yeah,
It
go
only
ahead.
takes me 5 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Game
so-
God, do you think Microsoft will try to go to handheld then? Do you think that they see that as the future?
I think that's what it is. I think that it has the obviously the
That was my question
the
too.
where you get all the games from. You can download all the games. Game Pass. Sorry, I couldn't think of it.
Right.
And it has solidified their cloud gaming.
That's where they're making their money.
and,
by the way.
and I'm telling you right now, I think why stay in a kind of like brick and mortar, right? Why stay in a physical box of a system which costs so much when all you need is a hub that can receive all the information that it needs, and that's where you're gonna make your money. Subscription base has always been the formula to make money on.
Yeah.
And you could control what people actually have.
PSP was
We
great.
can
Rob.
pretend
I
we
love
own
that.
it, but it's
Look at
not.
that.
No.
Little show and tell. So Rob mentioned he didn't know what to do with his 2600 with 40
guy.
games. I told him to send it to us, but look
He
at
sent
this.
it already? Wow.
This is an Atari. This is the video game console, all in one. You still can put cartridges, by the way.
I know why you're shaking your head,
Really?
Magic Mike.
Yeah, you know I'm shaking my head.
7800 video
Which,
game.
by the way, I owned that one when it first came out.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. And the reason I picked this up because unlike the other things that we saw on Prime days, there's usually I have a cart and it's like $4,000. For this one though, this is probably one of the only things that I saw that I go, I gotta get this. It was a good.
Yeah,
deal.
there was. Yeah, we're
So-
not revisiting that, but I agree with you, Moose.
But
Yeah.
Magic Mike, why are you shaking your head?
Because you know what I'm saying. Moose knows why I'm shaking my head. He
Why?
says the only reason why I got it. No, the only reason why he got it is so he could have it. That was the
that's
only
true.
reason. Right. It's still wrapped. You
Yeah,
can
that's
see
why I'm
the
shaking my head. The
cellophane.
bad boy
That's
hasn't
right.
even been open. Hey,
Yeah,
you
you
could
see
have
the
sent him a
cellophane.
box of styrofoam.
Yeah,
He don't
and
know
he's-
what's in
and
there.
he's-
In
and
30
he's
years,
pointing
I'll
at it
find
like
out.
he's pointing at it like, hey, look, this got all these things. Like he'll ever know if it actually does
Yeah.
have those things.
I bet you it isn't if
Anyway.
it works.
I just like that. Yeah, I know. I got to.
Hey, Moose. Moose, go ahead and crack that open right now. Do an unboxing.
Not yet.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it live.
Yeah, let's do it live right here. Live.
We're gonna do
Hey, first time ever. Moose
No.
opening a product that he has and that it's in his possession. First time ever. This is an exclusive, world
we gotta do that.
exclusive.
We'll do that another
World
time.
exclusive. No, we
All
won't.
right. So here I go. I'm buying
Keep
an
them
old
waiting.
system years ago from years past, and I'm not really
Not opening it.
thinking about the new systems like the Switch 2 and things like that. Not that I wouldn't mind having one, but I go, Now, will we in 20 years think of the Xbox X or PlayStation 5 as retro and be very cool with it, like to go, oh yeah, this was cool at the time. Will we do it? And I got to tell you, my first thought is I don't think we will.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you, Moose.
Yeah, you guys are just jumping right in. Moose answers the question before we could, so he could look like
Yeah,
he's first.
I know. I try to get it in.
I know, right? I think you're exactly right. We'll just go. It was a cool game, but nothing like what we talk about now for retro, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It'll be considered retro, I guess, for words' sake, but it won't be considered something that you would go out and buy. I'm not gonna. Moose isn't gonna reorder an Xbox X, and because he sees it online,
Right?
They're not even gonna make them again. They just won't. It won't
won't do it.
It won't even happen.
And Rob says no. I will tell you, retro for me is from the Super NES back, right?
Yeah.
Because the Dreamcast is technically
retro.
retro.
Come on,
right?
that's
Come
retro.
on, man.
Nope.
That is retro.
Nope, Super Nintendo back, right? And
Oh my
here's
God.
why. Here's why I would say.
Here's why.
I
Here we
define retro is when it was the height of your like nostalgia. I don't pick up a PS1 game, a PS2 game, a GameCube game, and say to myself, "Oh man, I miss this system." I don't.
So
I
this
don't.
is an interesting
Please.
point, Moose. This kind of brings back the conversation now to Microsoft to the Xbox, because maybe Game God's only 22, so maybe
Thank you.
there's a piece
Appreciate
to that as far as the retro, meaning that it wasn't retro to him, but it was retro to you and me.
Yeah, that might be that. That's a good point. I mean, there's some age discrepancies here that might play into everybody with retro. But
Yeah.
I got to tell you, in the retro community itself, I listened to a podcast from Europe, and I love listening to their retro podcast. These guys they're not my age, but they're younger than me. They're Game God's age, I still think they do a great job.
Hey,
They
that
talk
explains a
about
bunch.
Sega, they talk about those other things too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
that explains a bunch, Magic Mike, on why he's going to another podcast. I got it.
Oh, I
So
listen to
now
it.
that
I
now
love
that it's
listening
all
to it.
coming together.
Podcasts are great, and I'll shoot these guys a plug. By the way, the Retro Hour podcast, they talk about nothing but retro gaming, and I like listening to that kind of stuff. And
See,
quite
Rob even
frankly,
brings up.
what's that?
Sorry, Moose. Rob brought up the 64, and Game God doesn't
it is a
consider
64. That's class. Yeah, that is retro. And that was after the Super NES, or as in Europe they call it the SNES. By the way. But anyway, if you ever like retro gaming, I know we do some of that here. We do gaming, but they talk about everything retro. Matter of fact, I think a couple of there's 3 hosts on that show, and I'm pretty positive that 2 of them don't own any current systems, and they're younger guys. Like I said, they're probably in their 30s. They don't own it, but
My age.
yeah, or something like that. But anyway, that leads us to where we're going tonight, though, and that is I reached out to a company. The company's called Bitmap Books, and you can check them out at bitmapbooks.com, and they sell books. That's right. And the kind of books that they sell, though, is nostalgia. Not everybody. I have a library in my home, and it's filled with books.
Unwrapped.
Some of them. That's true. There's something about a feel of a book. There's something about holding a book and knowing that you can turn a page in a book. I mean, you talk to anybody who loves to read, they'll tell you that. I have a Kindle. I have all these things. A Kindle Scribe. I've got the old school Kindle. I've got a phone. I've got all this thing. But there's something about a book that when you can pick it up, look at it. Go ahead, Game God. Yes, I read.
No,
Go ahead.
I get that. I like that you thought I was going there, but there's some truth to that, right? A couple of things. You have a real scribe. I just want you to know that he does take notes for you on the side.
Yeah.
Number 2, I don't believe you have a Kindle. Right? I've never heard of it. Who is this man that's talking right now that says he has a Kindle and bringing up books and stuff like that? Like that. I know he's looking. He's pulling a drawer, but it's in one of these magical drawers. Just so you know.
So, Game God, sorry to interrupt, but I will tell you, I believe he has a Kindle, but not for the reasons he's saying he does.
Not true.
Hey,
No difference.
Same reason he has an iPad, an
that's-
iPod, and
That's exactly right. And the same reason he has
right.
that Atari sitting in that wrapped
yeah,
box.
yeah. He's one of those guys. Moose, I did have a question as we transition here into the retro piece. If I came to you, brand new retro Atari 2600, the original, right? Just the system with all the parts,
Yeah.
and a PS5 Pro, brand new in the box. Which one are you taking?
How many games are you bringing?
No, just systems.
Nah, I'd take PS5.
Oh, but here you are saying that you're going to do retro.
I love retro. I think it's great. It's just one of those things where I think
Gene
it's good to own. By the way, I have an Atari, so that's not, that doesn't entice me. I don't have a PS5 Pro, so
So basically, I have to
That's
offer
what
you
it
something
is.
you don't have.
That-
Okay,
yeah,
got
that's
it.
right.
Got it.
that's
I got
right.
it. My bad.
But here's the thing. You look at this, and I by the way, the guys at Bitmap Books sent us over really just in time for the podcast is a PDF forms of a few of the books, and a few of the ones that I wanted to get my hands on. We couldn't get our hands on it. They made some concessions for us and sent us some equally as good books, but something that is in a PDF form. And so I'm excited to talk about it because one is the Super NES. Another is the Amiga. Now, those of you that don't know what an Amiga is or was,
He went straight to that one. It's not a bug.
it's not a what is it? What is Amiga in Spanish? Game God, is that?
It's a bug. That's why I
it's a
said
bug?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm funny that you know that it was a Spanish word.
So I'm like, this was I really wanted to get our hands on the Commodore Visual Compendium and the original Nintendo, but they were out. They don't come in until later in the year, which is fine. They have to reprint them and all these good stuff. Which I was like, okay, no problem. They offered this. We took it gladly because they have a great product. Now this isn't something that, again, this just brings back so many memories of playing, games and things like that. It's just an incredible piece. And you guys know when you pull open this book, we'll just say a book, you look at the visuals of this book, and it brings back memories. Brings back memories.
Yeah, you're speaking to the one thing I know I can speak to, Moose. So, because I'm not
Amiga?
definitely not as familiar with Amiga, but as I
bug?
looked at this, to your point, and just to bring in the question that he asked you didn't ask me, I would take the Atari. And the reason is because when I looked at these PDFs specifically, and I looked at the graphics here, I immediately came back to that piece where you were saying, if it brings back the memories of playing these games. And I didn't play them as much as you did, but these graphics are incredible. To your point.
Yeah, I know you guys are talking about the Amiga. The Super NES one obviously spoke my language. The PDF was actually speaking to me. I had that version, by the way. It was talking to me in real time. When I was looking at it, right? First of all, I don't read. Right? I look at pictures.
Yes.
Just want to put that out there.
Okay.
So Kindle doesn't do nothing for me. It's actually a doorstop. When I was looking at this, it is too small. It is too small. I'm gonna prop it in the door like this. It won't be in the bottom.
I got you. Put it in the hinge.
Yeah, there you go. When I got this, I was a little Moose. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was a little skeptical. I'm like, oh, this guy's got me reading. I don't know what this is about. Like,
Don't send me a book.
Yeah, I'm like, really, a book? You sending a book to the game guy? So I was like, but when I started looking in it, it pulled me into a world of me being 16 years old, 15 years old, right? It pulled me back. Like I sat there and I remembered exactly where I was playing these games, right? I remember games like Joe and Mac, right? I didn't own it. I rented it from Blockbuster.
Yeah.
$4.72 for 3 nights. I just want you to know. I racked up a lot of late fees at playing the games, right? I remember Super Star Wars.
Yeah.
The first time I'm there with Luke shooting the blaster, so it really pulled me into a portal, brought me back in time. The second thing is these pictures, vibrant.
And so
Vibrant.
that's right. So when I think of the books and I'm looking at the Super NES, and I'll talk about the Amiga here in a little bit, but both of them, it's like if you're a retro gamer at all, if you put on any type of retro gaming and you, whether it's occasionally or every now and then, whatever the case is, it's like when you crack open the book, it's like visual gold. Like it's you get that sense. You go right back to playing these games, and it brings you back to that. Oh, I remember this level. Oh, I remember that game. Because even if you didn't have the game and you rented it, just like you said, Game God, you remember those things. And I think that is the biggest thing, because there's, it talks about some of the history inside the books of each of those games. And it's and there's a ton of them, by the way. By the way, I want to start by saying when you crack open the book, it's very cool because you get a little meet the cast piece. So you get to see who's putting together this book and what they do. And it's got everybody. It's got little 8-bit versions of them in there, which I love.
Yes,
I think
I usually skip that in a book. By the way, I did skip it this time.
But as soon as I saw the 8-bit version, I'm like, well, I got to read this. I mean, I got to see what's going on.
Why should I get superpowers?
The contents from the content page, you look at it, it goes in alphabetical order about the games that you're about to see, and then it tells you what page they're on. So that's great.
Yes.
So it doesn't start with page 1, page 2, page 3. It starts off with you want I don't know which one? Alien.
F-Zero.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's going to tell you, oh, this is on this page. So the contents will give you that, although the order that you go in isn't in alphabetical order, which I actually love. I like that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and they use the iconic pictures of themselves to make sure they look good. So that really comes out. You can really see it. But here's one of the things that I specifically got from these books, and I'll again speaking to the NES, the SNES first. But there's things
which is, by the way, Magic Mike, I don't mean the Super NES that was the upgrade to 16-bit, right?
Yes.
From 8-bit to 16-bit. Okay.
Correct.
I just want to be sure that I'm right. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are certain things that you guys may have known this already, but this is knowledge that I'm getting from this. This is what really drew me in a little bit to the book, beyond the graphics, beyond remembering the games, but things that I learned, like Enix. I didn't know they started as a publishing company for a magazine. I didn't even know that. And then I didn't know that Sega was bigger in Europe, but until SNES came out. That's information that I didn't know, which I thought this is cool. I want to keep reading and learning. So the information they have in these books, it's so I don't want to use the term groundbreaking, but it feels like we have never had this before. And it almost feels like a huge step up version. We talked about this recently in the retro games when you used to get the catalog of how to play the game. And now we don't get that. So this breaks all that down again for you, gives you all the information that you could ever want from it. It's a lot of fun to read and look at.
Yeah, you mentioned Enix there, and I remember when Enix did publish their own games, and then Square published their own games, and then they merged. So like a lot of the generation now will only know that Square Enix, right? But it wasn't Square; it was Square Soft, and it was Enix.
Yes.
And so those are some fun facts there. But
I didn't know that. I really had no idea that it was the Super NES was called something else in Japan.
Super Famicom.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Idea.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
hence my name, hence your name. I get it. Yeah. So Super Famicom, right? So also the buttons were backwards. In Japan, right? So
makes sense.
So XY was YX.
They have more characters in their alphabet.
They do.
All right, keep going.
So when I look at the Super NES and I start going back in time and I start looking at these games, first of all, Mode 7. I haven't heard Mode 7 since this book brought me back. Like Mode 7 was a Super NES thing. It is a technical feature that the Super Nintendo built its platform on. The very first game, Super Mario World, built on Mode 7, right?
Yeah.
F-Zero, probably the game that showcased it the most to allow you to see speed, to make you feel like you were going fast, right?
Yeah.
Pilot wings that let you to see depth for when you were up in the air and you saw the stuff get small, and then as you got closer, that's all Mode 7. That's normal stuff now. We don't think about it. Doesn't have a name right now.
It doesn't, right.
It doesn't, but it did back then.
Yeah, but when I look at the graphics, even from a 2D perspective, where you're just looking at a flat land like Zelda, and you see all these things, and you're like, oh yeah, our minds took over for what that depth is. Like our minds took over when you look at the Super NES. In this book, you get to see that depth. It brings you right back to going, oh yeah, there's a waterfall. It's going down. But although it's just plain, it's just
not. Yeah.
it's not going down. But your mind believes it is, and it brings you back to all that, and you get to see some of the details of whether it doesn't matter what it is to me. There was a game by Super Mario. I can't remember what it was, but it reminded me of Flappy Bird. Just came, Flappy Bird was just out on your phone or iPad not that long ago, and I'm like,
it's the fish from Super Mario World. It flips out of the water. I think it was called Flappy, by the way.
I don't know.
I would tell you, we got the PDF versions, right? But I went and did some research, and their books. If you hear the description of how their books are made, their books are made of the maximum durability. They use thread instead of glue where they bound, right? They got bookmark ribbons so they can hold your spot, right? The metallic inks to make the book themselves, high quality.
Right.
You know, it's interesting that you say it like that, being that we're talking about retro games, because you don't get that in books today. You only get it through books that are retro. And so this is they bring it full circle, right? From the what the content is to the actual book itself.
Like crack a book open, you hear crack.
Yes.
There's so much content though, and every single game in here, I look at Super NES. It reminds me of when you put that book. It's not like a coffee table, a book. Like it's not just coffee table candy. Like it's love letters. Like every game is a love letter.
He's right.
That's great.
I mean, it really is. So you get to see, the year it came out and the developer and you get to see these pictures or these images from the game itself. And then it just brings back so many memories. Like I said, I really was excited to just page through, and it's funny because the other images inside the books show close-ups or a breakdown of like a controller or the system or
like blueprints.
They're like I just like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
And it really, like I said, when you see it, your mind goes right back, and it takes you to that spot where it was nice. And that also means the Amiga book. So the Commodore 64 was great. Commodore 128 great. They came out with the Amiga, and I was like, I didn't have enough money to buy the Amiga when I was younger.
$60 was rough.
No, it was 60.
Was it still 200? Like it's still 200. Like
it was hundreds. This probably, I would imagine it was probably 400. I don't remember exactly,
400,
but it was
rich,
higher than the Commodore 64, which I think was like 200 or 300.
Yeah, PlayStation prices back then.
Yeah, well, you're right, but groundbreaking stuff. And I remember, and by the way, guys, I don't want to take away from the Super NES, but when you see the Amiga and you start to see Space Harrier, and you see this, the classic ball, the visual of the classic ball of the demo, like all of these things just start to bring back so many memories. And then you can see where we go from like a 16-bit piece from the Super NES to where we're at with the Amiga. And I'm like, ooh, that's really nice. How did they make these graphics so good? And by the way, the Super NES still looked awesome. And you see those graphics, and I'm like, the books just kind of lay it out there, and kind of you just don't remember. You think they were good then. They weren't that good. And then when you see a visual compendium like these books are, and you see it, and you're like, oh, that was pretty good. You had to have some skill.
You did have to have skill. It was a much different level of play. Because one of the ones in the Amiga book specifically that I liked looking at, Moose, and I remember. I don't remember playing because I didn't play Amiga, but I remember playing the game with Batman the movie, and that thing moving through like you're using the joystick or whatever controller you're using at the time for that specific game, going side to side, having to get over there, timing it just right. And so, to your point, it was so much harder to play. You had to really prepare, be ready to play the game and move in and out and do whatever.
Listen, I'd like to take you down a little history lesson here with me, if you don't mind.
Yeah. But go ahead.
when you look at the Super Nintendo, as I was going through this book, there was not a game that I did not know. I want you to know this, right? Listen, all of them. This is not an exaggeration. Now, I will tell you, I played them some more than others, but I've played each one at least once, right? And I would tell you that, yeah, some of them were rock hard, woof, unbelievable, right? But I do want to call out like 2 or 3 just to call out Street Fighter.
Okay.
This is where it started for
Yeah.
me. Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
Street Fighter started here for me, right?
Right.
I mentioned Pilot Wings earlier. How about Ninja Turtles? Turtles in Time.
Oh yeah.
Look how you guys kind of close your eyes, and it took you there, right? It took you there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you another one. Super Castlevania 4, right? For me,
Another one.
I remember the opening music.
Careful, might get a copyright strike.
Yeah,
Don't.
Sorry, I can't sing no
You're
more.
really good.
Listen,
you-
Bruce, they're not going to make it out from Game God. I'm just saying.
like, listen, I know we have a certain time on our podcast, but I got a list of like a good 30 games here that I can take you and tell you where I played them, how I played them, if I beat them, why I didn't beat them, right? And probably how much I spent in Blockbuster, because a lot of these were rented, right?
Right.
This is what I tell you. This is where retro starts for me.
Yeah.
Right. This is why it's retro for me. It brings me to a place. This book brought me to a place. I didn't think I was going to spend as much time reading this book. Honest, right? I didn't think, because I don't read, right?
Right. You look.
I sat here for a good 45 minutes to an hour. Just kept going. I couldn't put it down. Kept going, read. And it's an easy read, right? It's not all chunked up together.
Right.
Like there's a picture. You got two little paragraphs. Give you just enough to what you want to eat. On to the next one.
Yeah. Put a little sugar on my tongue, and then go. All right, swallow that. Let me give you a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes it interesting. It's not just fluff. It's information about the game or about the system, and then it builds on the information saying this is where it came from. This is when it came out. This is the story behind it.
You get
like
you
said,
get interviews. You get interviews from some of the developers and some of the programmers from it. So that's great. It's funny you say that, Game God, because that's exactly what I wrote when I thought about what it is for me, even in the digital form that we see it right here in this PDF. I told you we didn't have the book here. These guys will do us right. Sam, I spoke to him, and they've taken care of us with these PDFs in a digital form that we're looking at them in this book. You can feel the weight of these books would carry. You can
absolutely.
Feel it. Literally and emotionally, the weight of them that they would carry. So for me, I go, thank you, Bitmap Books. I appreciate you guys coming and helping us out on the podcast and giving us more stuff to talk about. And what they're doing over there is terrific. If I look at bitmapbooks.com, you can go to their website. You can see their story there. You can see probably some live shots of them, not just 8-bit, 16-bit graphics of them. But you can also see some of the other stuff that they have, some of the catalogs. They have a lot of books. There's a lot that I'd love to get my hands on. I mean, completely. The books are there's one, I don't know, how many pages was it, Magic Mike? I can't remember. It was it was huge. I think it was a RPG one, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. It looked huge, but they have different ones. They have all kinds of systems. The Commodore, the NES, Super NES, Amiga. I believe they have the Sega ones. Some of them official, some of them unofficial. I love both. It doesn't matter to me. They have some arcade ones. Just on and on. They have some really great. It's vivid. The colors are great. You won't be disappointed in the colors of these graphics.
So
here's
Moose,
what I would.
Commodore 64 Visual Compendium, 500 pages.
500 pages. That's incredible. When you think about that and go, wow, that's a lot of pages, because it, first of all, it had a heavy history, so it should be, and so they did it right. They didn't go cheap on that. That role playing one, how many? It's got a ton of pages on that one. I cannot remember, but there were a ton. I think it was closer to 700. I could be wrong.
It was Moose. Yeah, you're right. Here's the thing.
684 pages.
There you go.
When I saw when we got these books, and then I went to their site and started checking some things out.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, and Game God's gonna have to agree. Moose, you won't agree because you'll just know that you would have wanted them regardless. These are books you don't know that you want or need until you see them, until you're reading them. I would never have guessed if you would have said, "Hey, Mike, you want a retro book?" I'd have said, "I'm good." Game God probably would have said the same thing. Moose would have said, "Anything retro, give it to me." But
Yeah, that's right. I'll take theirs.
Yeah,
Lay it on
after you
me.
see it, you're just like, "Oh, yeah, these are gotta have." I can't imagine after seeing them now not having these available. And I don't know. It's just one of those things that, like we talked about the feel goods, we've talked about the quality of all that stuff. It is definitely a book I want to put. There's a few that I have that I keep in a special place that I touch on occasion, and this is one of those books I would want to just look at all the time.
You know,
I agree.
I'll
I agree with
I'll
you,
tell
man.
you. I'll tell you if you go to their website and you look at the cost of these books, I'll tell you, I feel like the prices are wrong. To be quite honest with you, it's like they're
It
pretty
doesn't
low.
feel right?
Yeah,
It's
they're
like,
pretty. 500 pages. That doesn't. I've seen books that triple the price at half the amount of pages. So listen, I'm a fan. I'll tell you, they definitely. I want to thank Bitmap Books for bringing me back to my teenage years. Right.
Yeah.
I wanna. It really pulled me in, and that's why, Moose, I pulled out Super Punch Out. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I read that book, and I'm like, oh, man, I want to play this game, and I played it.
Yeah.
They have a book. I know you're into this. They have a book that says the games that weren't. I want that one. I want to know.
Yeah. Then you see something, you're like, oh, I forgot about that game. I want that back.
Yes.
Listen, go to bitmapbooks.com and check out what they have. Guys, you're going to love these books. We absolutely love them. Thanks for sponsoring the podcast this week, guys. And hopefully we can do a little collaboration and maybe give one of these books away. I don't know. We'll work with the Sam and the guys over there. Guys, let's come back next week and do it again. How about it?
I was just leaving. Da-da-da-da.
Nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert.
You've been listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi with Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike. Nerds have more fun. If it's anything sci-fi, we're talking about it. We had fun, and we hope you did too. We have to split, but we'll be back soon. In the meantime, hit us up at podcast4sci-fi.com. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Come to life.